You ready to get into the drop zone, which is the name of this bag pattern by Patterns by Annie. They're basically transformer bags. Let me show you. Look at, and then it's a flat bottom that you can put stuff in. It opens up. You can use it rotary cutter, sewing supplies. Now let's have some fun making these bags. I'm making these drop zone zipper tray trio bags, and these are the fabrics that I have pulled. It's from Bali Dreams with some coordinating blenders. It's 100% organic fabric. Those are all of the fabrics in the collection, which are gorgeous, amazing, like going on vacation from your home and in your sewing room. Now I have everything cut out for all 3 sizes I'm going to make. These combinations are so gorgeous. So for each, there is the front and the inside, right? Then there are the tabs and the side panels. There's interfacing. Then I have some soft and stable. It's foam that is great for bags, etc. Then I have some zippers. I love Patterns by Annie zippers. If you're new to them, they're wider than normal, so you really don't need a zipper foot. And now I'm ready to sew. So in order to quilt, of course, the lining fabric goes on the back. And then you sandwich it with this, ta-da, and then put this on the front. And each one of these prints creates its own pattern for a great grid quilting situation. And then see here, I'm not even marking it. I am just gonna throw caution to the wind, trust in the process, going in between these. I think they're macadamia nuts. These stitches are perfect. It just pops these. Yes, these are going to be awesome travel bags. I almost forgot that I have this 505 temporary adhesive. I love this, especially for bigger pieces that I don't want to shift and I don't want to mess with clips or even magnets. Do this in a ventilated area and then flip it over, and it's temporary. So once you iron it, the adhesive goes away and it washes out, but it keeps everything in place. I have sewn the smaller two, and just so you know what we're getting into, so it opens up. Wow, look, it opens. Yes, you can put stuff in it. Amazing. And then it zips up and it's a little clamshell situation. This is all you need to complete the drop zone. You need the zipper. Got it. Pull tabs right here. You need these 2 pieces and then these squares of the interfacing. This is for the side part, these 2, just so you can see it here. It's for this here. And this is the little grab tags. And then this is the quilted panel. I couldn't find my 1-inch like D-rings with a swivel hook, so I bought some rings like this and some mini carabiners. But this is an optional situation. This is going to go in 3 steps. First, gonna prepare the grab tags. Then we're going to prepare the side parts. Then we're gonna prepare this panel to put the zipper on. Voila, done. So first step are these grab tags, and I'm going to fold it in half, press it to get that crease, and fold these into the center. Press it, open it. Now you got those 2 seam lines, and put the interfacing with the textured side down, centering it in between these 2 lines. Press it, fold, give it a good press, and now it is ready. Edge stitch, 1/8 stitch. Ta-da, look at those stitches. I'm gonna put the ring on after because it's one of those keyring rings, but if not, you would put it on now and then make sure to close this with a stitch at 1/8 inch. Next step are these right here. So you take the interfacing and you put it right in the center to where a 1/2 inch is around the whole sides. I'm going to iron this off camera and then come back and show you what to do. So I've taken the piece and I folded it to where the longest side is on the bottom. And then from here, I'm gonna draw a point 1/4 inch over. I'm sorry, my brain got twisted, hold on. And now I'm gonna take this and then draw a point 1/4 inch over. And then at the bottom of that point to here, you mark it so you can see it, where the interfacing is, that's a 1/2 inch over. Draw a diagonal line. And I'm using a friction pen, which is an erasable pen. Ta-da! And do the same thing over here. And now I'm going to stitch along here, making sure to back stitch at the beginning and the end. And now I'm going to trim these to where there is a scant 1/4 inch. Scant just means it's just slightly inside, so it's a little bit less than. On that line, and then turn it right side out. Making sure to poke out that corner. I'm using my mixed weaver. Then I will press this just to flatten the fold and then take this over to my sewing machine, stitch 1/8 of an inch, scant 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, and then edge stitch that. So this one involves me drawing lines 2 inches and 7/8 from the raw edge on all 4 sides. And then next up is drawing a rectangle 1/4 inch inside here. Right here. So I wanted to show you this before I cut it, because right here, that rectangle I just drew is going to be the cut line. So I use my rotary cutter and I get as close to the corner as possible, but I don't want to go beyond it. And I'll finish it off with some scissors. Next up, find the center line of the horizontal and of the vertical persuasion. Such a weird way to say that. And then the final thing is cutting off these corners. On this size, we're going to go 2 inches and 3/8, which is right here on each end of that corner. Mark it, and then draw a diagonal line from where that point reaches the raw edge. Ta-da! Now you can see it. That's actually going to be a cut line. And I'm going to do the same thing to all 4 corners. But before then, on this corner where these marks are, you want to draw a curve like so. And then cut it, because you definitely want to make sure that these are not pointed. It makes the whole experience a lot easier. Do the same thing here. Like so. This is the finished piece. Now we're going to do some fun stitching. And this is going to help create the folds. So this horizontal line right here, going to stitch on that. Then this right here, go up, over, there. This, and this. Then stitch all the way around the edge at 1/8 of an inch, so it's inside the seam allowance. Now here is the finished piece with all the stitches, and if you've never seen it before or friction pens are new for you, you can just iron over it, and that ink goes away with the heat. All gone. Just clean stitches. Boop. And the final thing before attaching the zipper is to attach these pull tabs. Since I did not put the hook on this yet, it doesn't matter which side it goes on, but you need to know where the center line is. I'm just going to find a fold because I didn't mark it, and just put it right here. And do the same thing on this side. Just fold it, find that center, put it right there on that stitch line so it's centered, and then clip. Now I'm going to sew these in place at about 1/8 of an inch in to where it's still inside of the seam allowance. Boom. Now it's time to do the zipper. So I folded it in half and I'm going to mark the center line. Ta-da. I'm just going to go. And then I tacked this side too so that whenever I do this, it won't come out because I just don't want to deal with that. So now we have this panel done and the zipper. So just fold this zipper in half, find that center line, and I am going to mark it right here on the back. Boom. And that is what we're going to line up with these vertical lines. Starting on this side, just go ahead and clip it. Make sure it's right side to right side, like this, because you want the zipper to be on the outside. And these are the spots that I'm going to clip before I take it over to the sewing machine. So when stitching a zipper, it's a lot easier if you unzip it. So I'm going to unzip this side right here. I have my tweezers right here to help make sure that it's lined up with that raw edge. I am going to stitch this at a true 1/4 inch. Here we go. Make sure to back stitch in the beginning. And then now, before I stitch the other side or do the next part, I'm going to mark this zipper on the other side so I know where it ends, just so roundabout I can make sure it ends and begins at the same place. And the next part is just to make sure that we cut roughly 1/8 of an inch from this excess of the body. Don't go beyond that. because if you get too close to the stitches, then it might come unraveled. And then you want to make sure not to accidentally cut the zipper. So it looks like that. Do that all the way around. And now I've opened the zipper back up just to make it easier. And we are going to finger press this down. I tried basting it and using Wonder Tape, but it didn't make it look as crisp as it does whenever you just finger press it. I'm gonna bring my tweezers into it too, just to help and keep it in place. And we're gonna edge stitch this edge of the zipper onto the body. Just make sure that the bobbin thread is the same as what your top thread was in this instance so that it doesn't look different on the front. And just get started, make sure to backstitch. And this is what it looks on the front. Ooh, and do the same thing to the other side. Under normal circumstances, I would clip this just to keep it in place, but because of this and where the zipper pull is, I'm gonna have to do some maneuvering. And right here, you're gonna do it at a scant 1/4 of an inch. And so I'll get started, backstitch, and just make sure these raw edges are in alignment. And then when I get closer to the zipper, that's when I will zip it up a little bit because it gets a little wonky, just to get it to the center line right here. And as long as it's a Patterns by Annie or a polyester zipper, the needle will go over it just fine. It's only when it's a metal zipper that you have to worry. And even still, if you wanted to, you could hand crank it. And then now that we're on the other side, we can line this up and straighten this, and we are good to go. And then just make sure to backstitch at the end. And then right here, this excess of the zipper, trim it flush with the raw edge of the bag. Ta-da! And now do the other side. Final thing involves this, the side part for your machine. So find the good side, make sure that it is to where it will be visible. So it needs to be facing up. Line it up on the lining right here. Ta-da! Clip it in place. Now I'm gonna flip this over and stitch this at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And now finish. Back stitching at the end. And now I've flipped it over, right? Like this, folded it, flipped it over. Gonna flip it like this, see? Flip it back over to where now we're gonna stitch in the ditch right here. Stitching in the ditch, if it's a new term for you, it just means you're gonna try and stitch where that is so that you don't see the stitches on this side, but who cares, it's on the inside. And then make sure to backstitch. Always backstitch at the beginning and the end of bags. What are we gonna do? Backstitch. And cute. The only thing left is to turn it right side out. The great thing about this binding right here is that it creates a really structured bottom and it pokes out those corners on its own. Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's so cute. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. So I'm gonna put the little ring thing on this side because that's where I put it on all the other ones. And the final thing to do is to whip stitch these right here, because that'll create a little bit more structure. I'll show you me doing that on my couch, but for all intents and purposes, we are finished. So the final thing for these bags is while it's inside out still, I'm gonna sew this to this. I'm going to start right here where the top is and just tie a double knot right there so it doesn't move. I prefer that instead of putting a knot at the end of my thread. And now I'm going to whip stitch here. You can use any stitch that you wanted to here. Blanket stitch would be a good one. Invisible ladder stitch would be a good one. But I don't mind if the stitches are visible. And a whip stitch, it's just like the spiral of a notebook. And you just go in a spiral. You go in the same place and then out the same place. So I am catching a little place right here, as you can see. Like so. And I'm going to keep going all the way to the end. I've been wanting to make these bags for a while, and it was one of those moments whenever I was looking around in my fabric shop with the help of my friend, assistant, helper, and all things mixed domestic. Connecting this pattern with this fabric collection was just pure perfection. So get the fabric, get the patterns, get any of the tools and notions that you might need, and then everyone's gonna think you're super cool and totally want these as gifts, and they might try to steal yours, so be careful. So if you want more bag tutorials like this, then let me know in the comments. If you really dug it, let me know. What you're looking for in a tutorial, let me know. The comments are for that. I love to read all of y'all's comments and see what y'all have to say. So thanks for being a part of my journey. Until next time, happy sewing. Drop zone. I made your bags.
Woo! My favorite part. I love that they lay flat. I can put all my makeups and skincare in here and see them all.
Hello, aren't I so cute? Oh my god, there's eyes in her nose.